What's going on, Obasi Posse? Welcome back to my channel. And really quick, just before I start the video, I just want to mention to those of you who are new here and new subscribers to the Obasi Posse that I do have a Patreon, as well as I just today, 5 minutes ago, so that's why it says no followers, no following. I literally joined 41 minutes ago. I did start a Parlor. So far, the platform seems awesome. I will upload content there, but please follow me on Parlor. I'm thinking of going to this platform exclusively as it says there's no censorship. So if you guys didn't see my previous video about the upcoming food shortage, I did get a few comments that said, well, there's not a food shortage, there's a break in the supply chain. But when you think about it, that comment is a little, it doesn't make sense. If there's a break in the supply chain, then inevitably there would be some sort of disruption or shortage coming, right? So I want to talk about how it's not just the United States. This is a global thing that's going on. Particularly, I want to talk about China. Now, here in this article released by BBC News, you can see that China launched a clean plate campaign. And I just think that's very fitting. It basically stepped up its authoritarian measures in regarding food waste because they had to maintain a sense of crisis about food security. So that's a big deal. Now, China has been facing a lot of difficult weather conditions that caused a lot of problems within the farming industry. They faced a lot of different things. We'll get into that in a minute. So over here, China launches Clean Plate campaign and calls for an end to food wastage. It says the annual amount of food wasted globally reaches 1.6 billion tons. There's all these different but even in this article right here, it says in June 2020, the United Nations warned that the world is on the verge of the worst food crisis in 50 years. And it says right here that these three countries happen to be the most affected. And I just think that's just a very strange coincidence, a very plotted coincidence. I don't know what you guys think. And here's just another article talking about it. It's all over the place. And we see here that China also has insane weather conditions going on for them as well. Worst floods in decades, okay? We can see here, if you guys have heard, they're really going through it. And not only do they have the worst floods, but they're facing right here in this article by Breitbart, China faces food shortage as droughts, floods, and pests ruin harvest. Lost a very large percentage in the crops and food production. And it says that the China's consumer price index is steadily rising, increasing food prices. Now I'm going to talk about this particular issue in a sequel to this video as well. So this food shortage crisis is going to be a series here on my channel. So please subscribe and like this content if you are following along with me, because there's a lot to discuss and I'm breaking it down piece by piece. And we can see in this article as well, China drought, heavy rains spark concern over the grain supply. And then, of course, they launched a campaign against food waste. But speaking of wasting food, China happens to be a very big waster of food because that's where that trending video came with mukbang. I don't know if you guys, or mukbang, if you guys have heard of it. We have a lot of Americans do it as well. One of the famous Americans who do it is Nikocado Avocado, where you just eat an abundant amount of food. But it originated in China, and they just eat very large amounts of food on camera. I heard that in China, if you are seen eating an inappropriate amount of food, you will be publicly shamed. But at the same time, gluttony is just trending in the world. And no one seems to care or notice that that's actually like a huge sin. And it's terrible for our planet. It's terrible for your body. And it's just terrible in general. So that is also, so if you guys didn't know about this trend, the mukbang trend, it's been a trend for about a couple of years now. Moving on, U.S. sells record amount of corn to China despite rising tensions. So this is a big thing to pay attention to because they don't have the crop. They are hoarding. They're having ships bring in an abundant amount of food, record-breaking amounts of food to their ports to make sure their people are basically taken care of. It's not only corn that they're importing at record highs. Here in this article, it says China purchases record amounts of U.S. farm goods, likely due to food shortages. Now it says likely due. They don't want to say it, but they're saying it, you know. And it's just really something to pay attention to. Here in China, they have restaurants where they actually weigh their customers before entering. So we complain, right, about the temperature check and then face mask check. Imagine being weighed on a scale before entering and then getting your portion sizes and having to report your portion sizes, to certain regulators about this. So it's absolutely something that's going on, absolutely something you need to pay attention to. I do have sequels coming. One of the other topics in a sequel video to this topic will be the price jump in food. We're going to see a major price jump in food. The consumer price index is already projecting spikes in food prices globally. I will be talking about another video of all these farms that are actually being ordered to have their crops destroyed, wasted, poured out, deceased, not harvested, just destroying all their crops, not allowed to harvest them. And these are mandates. These are required. They're requiring farms to do these things. Now, I do have prepping videos coming. I'm hoping to actually collab with a few preppers here on the channel to give you some more insight on how to prepare for certain things such as food shortages or just to be prepared in general. It's always smart. It's always a good idea. Anyone who kind of knocks that way of thinking doesn't, to me, think normally, because what's the worst that can happen for being prepared? No one makes fun of somebody for having savings in the bank, right? Like, you're not going to make fun of that person for having $20,000 saved in the bank because you might need that $20,000 for an emergency. So why would you make fun of somebody who is, who has extra things like extra rice, extra food, extra matches, simple things like this? It's absolutely ridiculous that people even find that comical. It's actually very intelligent and smart, and I recommend it. So prepping videos will be coming on this channel as well, as I feel they are very fit to what's going on. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video on what's kind of going on with China, just to further elaborate my previous video. And if you have not seen my previous video, it's right on my channel, and it's right there. The title is "No One is Talking About the Upcoming Food Shortage." So with that being said, one more thing that I do want to say, that this is not a video to induce panic. This is a video to prepare. This is a video to enlighten, to prepare you, therefore omitting panic and fear, because it's just, fear is not of God. Fear should not even be living in your heart. We like to be smart and knowledge and know what's going on, because we can prepare and not be having the rug pulled out from under us, essentially. So that's the point of these videos. If anyone is thinking that I could be trying to panic the people, this is nothing to panic about. This is something to be aware about and then be prepared about. So with that being said, I am Mary Obasi, and I will see you guys in my next video.